Let's now get more on this. I'm joined by Yvonne Aki-Sawyerr, OBE, Mayor of Freetown in Sierra Leone. Mayor, thank you so much for your time and for joining us on the program. We've gotten a global snapshot, but what would you say are the barriers that affect women when it comes to political leadership on the African continent?
Good afternoon, and thanks so much for having me. This couldn't have been a better time. I'm actually in the car on my way back from Liberia, where I've just spent time with a number of women from across the continent discussing this specific issue as members of the Amuje Leaders Network of Leadership, led by Madam Ellen Johnson-Sirleaf. And this question was posed to us, and the four main issues that were raised. The number one was mindset, which has come up already in the prelude, the interlude just before the introduction. Next is access to resources, and this is often tied. And note that I don't say access to finance, I actually say access to resources. The third would be the absence of support networks, absence of role models, not surprising given the statistics that we see currently. And finally, something that's not highlighted very often, but is super important, which is that in some contexts, there's the risk of violence against women, which serves as a discouragement. So those are four of the issues which I just spent time with women from Zimbabwe, from South Africa, from Kenya, from Gambia, and this was the collective conclusion. That notwithstanding, as you rightly said again in the introduction, we are seeing women leaders emerge on the continent. Namibia, we've seen Mexico. We have strong figures like the leader of Barbados, the president of Barbados, and the prime minister rather of Barbados. Okay. And so we know the differences can be made.
Bringing it back to you in Freetown, I mean, what have you done to make sure that your voice is heard in situations that may not have been favorable to you? For example, allegations made about you at a time when Parliament was discussing gender equality. How did you speak out?
So I think the very process or the very being in office, the very fact that one is in office creates that role modeling. And speaking out is verbal as well as nonverbal. It's by doing things such as encouraging women to be as part of my leadership. I have a foundation, the Yaz Girls Leadership Foundation, which has a motto, give her wings, watch her fly, where I provide motivational engagement to girls. But when it comes to speaking out, I do that as well. When you see situations such as violence against women, we had a very personal experience in August. Raising my voice is important in that space, but it isn't something that we do on our own. That mindset change is something that has to be systematic. And I'm a firm believer that nothing changes mindsets better than actually contradicting the stereotypes by action. What do I mean by this? When I was running for mayor initially in 2018, I'm now in my second term. A question that was posed to me many, many times was, is this really a job for a woman? But the answer wasn't given by the words that I spoke. The answer was given by the delivery of my interventions, delivering against an agenda of Transform Freetown, now Transform Freetown, transforming lives. I demonstrated something that data from India has demonstrated, that when you have women-led local government, you are going to have more solutions for the people on the ground.
Mayor, we are going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for just packing so much in that short time. We truly appreciate your time on the program.